Peep the concrete chronicles, my secret origins honest. Every hustle's first appearance, putting paper on the harness. Got a super villain plot twist for the crooked politicians. Me and my crew are heroes on a whole different mission. They see the flashy jewels, that's just a secret identity. My real superpower is surviving this vicinity. Doing the uptown lowdown, know what I mean? Doing the uptown lowdown.
Welcome to Secret Identities Podcast with your host, the tenacious T-Dubb, and I am your savvy Savage Jody. We are here to bring you news, reviews, discussion, maybe a few laughs about everything in the comics, TV, movie, and media landscape. How you doing, T-Dubb?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Ready to go. We got a lot of comic news, a lot of Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con coming up. Actually starts tomorrow night. So, man, it
sounds right.
Fast, man. Yeah.
Wow, what? Tomorrow night? Starts on Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday night. There's preview night. Yeah.
I didn't know they started on Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday.
Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday. Yeah.
So, some interesting stuff. Interesting stuff going on this week.
Yeah. We were talking about getting ready for Comic-Con. A lot of news dropped about all the past news. Hey, I did hear a press conference from Kevin Feige. And that was interesting. Talking about, because we're gonna in top story in news today is the Avengers Doomsday trailer was released earlier today. So a lot to talk about with that trailer, and Joey's going to have that up for you guys who haven't seen it, but we're going to talk about it today. But one of the interesting things, somebody asked Feige about the Blade movie, and he expressed that they dropped the ball on that, and he was very ashamed and embarrassed by that. So he, I was going to read what he actually said. But some kind of crazy stuff been going on with all the fake movie speculation castings that they have. I felt like we were in high school again with all these names of these actors, because when Jody and I were in high school, there was this magazine, for those of you old comic fans that do know, Wizard the Guide to Comics was a price guide magazine that came out with all the news. And of course in the 90s, for all you old folks out there, AARP members out there, we didn't have internet or social media to speculate, all these movie castings. So, every month they would do this column where they did fan casting on who you thought that were established actors and who would play the best roles in the comic book movies that we would see 20 some odd years later. And some of them were a bit far-fetched. Some of them were spot on. Some of them we wish, after seeing these 30 some odd movies, that some of them actually got to play some of the roles that they were picked for.
Some of them actually happened.
Yeah, some of them actually happened. What were some of the ones that actually happened?
Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier was one of the main ones that come to mind.
Which was spot on. Okay, I got it. Kevin Feige, he got brutally honest, and this was from Variety, about the studio's failed Blade reboot. He said, "I'm feeling like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Marshall Ali." Feige previously explained how the prolonged delays of Blade were a symptom of Marvel's overexpansion into Disney Plus streaming content, where for the very first time ever, quantity trumped quality. We didn't want to simply just put a leather outfit on him and have him start killing vampires. It had to be unique. It fell into the time when we started pulling back and saying, only except insanely great, and it wasn't insanely great at the time. We didn't feel like, as we often do, you can have a good script and make it a great script without production. We didn't feel confident that we could do that on Blade, and we didn't want to do that to Mr. Ali, and didn't want to do that to us. So I'm hearing rumors that it's still in play, but it's gotten pushed back till after the second of two new Avengers movies, which will be Avengers
After the
Secret
reboot?
War. Yeah, in 2027.
Let it stay until after.
Well,
honestly, because where I'm at is like, where do vampires fit in the MCU? There's no place for them. The only way you could open the door to vampires and supernatural in the MCU is if you did more with that Swamp Thing, Jack Russell thing that they did on Disney Plus 3 years back now, which was kind of cool. One of the only things that went to Disney Plus that was kind of cool.
the main thing?
They did Werewolf by Night, and then Man Thing was in that as at the end. But like, that's your doorway into the supernatural, because you can't do Scarlet Witch, you killed her. You can't do that Agatha, because she's damn ridiculous. That's played more for laughs than anything. So like, the only way you could like open the door to something real like vampires would be through those characters. I just don't think it fits. Like, where do vampires fit in a world with alien invasions and gods and stuff like that? They've never made a home for that to exist. So I think he's right. I think they would totally screw it up if they don't give it the room to breathe. So like, wait till after the reboot, do Ghost Rider, do something with Werewolf by Night, do Blade, give those characters a place to live.
Well, the rumored some valuable insight on some of the rumored movies after Secret War. The list has Black Panther 3, Shang-Chi 2, Blade, Avengers Forever, Midnight Suns movie, a fifth Spider-Man, a new Avengers, which is Thunderbolts 2, and then the X-Men is rumored to be titled Uncanny X-Men. So they possibly, however they decide to do this pocket universe. I know they recently did a Blade centered storyline with the Avengers. It was called Blood Hunt about a year ago. It has something to do with, I believe, the King in Black, Venom side of things. So, I mean, they could possibly do something that way, but I think Blade, it's rumored to have a part in the culmination of heroes for the Secret War movie. So that could be an intro if they bring him in, a la Black Panther, how he was in Civil War. They could spotlight him there and then branch off into the Midnight Suns, or however they end up wanting to do that. But I mean, only time will tell. But I think that actor will play a pretty good Blade. So kind of want to see something like that.
Oh, I think Marshall Ali is an awesome actor. I think he might be too tall for Blade. That's a weird thing to say, but I'm willing to see him do it. But I don't think, like I said last time we talked about Doomsday, I don't think Marvel's done the work. And I think that if they don't find a place that makes sense to put him, then it's going to be weird. And the other thing is like, they're going to flush the toilet after Secret Wars, so they need to hold some of the stuff back. If you want it to mean something, don't throw me out a movie that you're just gonna dash all the continuity for and replace the actor. What's the point in saying I want a Marshall Ali Blade movie if I'm gonna get one movie and they're gonna flush the toilet and bring in somebody else?
Yeah. But we'll see.
I mean-
See where that goes.
Marvel technically already flushed the toilet on this guy once because he was the villain in Luke Cage season 1 for the first half of the season, and they killed him out of nowhere. And he was damn sight better than the villain that they used afterwards.
Oh yeah, definitely was that. Oof. Yeah, that was something else. On the DC side of things, DC is releasing a PvP game called DCKO based on the
Really?
crossover comic that came out earlier this year, which was a massive hit. The PvP is you're supposed to be able to go against live opponents. You can find more about it at playdckko.com. Not showing a release date for it, but some of the animation and the graphics that were released looks pretty good. Possibly there'll be more coming out during the Comic-Con this week.
So, do you have Man of Tomorrow set leaks on your list?
Do I have
Man of Tomorrow set leaks on your list?
no, I don't. But were there some new ones?
Well, reports are that hang on a second, what's his name?
Oh, I did hear that there is what is her name?
Zolo Meriduina was actually seen on the set of Man of Tomorrow, and Zolo is the kid from Cobra Kai that played
Oh yeah, I
Blue
forgot.
Beetle.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
more so,
that was actually
more
was
so than
confirmed
even
by,
even
James Gunn.
since then. There's been another report that Zachary Levi was seen on set of Man of Tomorrow, and that's the guy who plays Shazam. So,
Yeah.
oh wow, they're getting some people together for this movie.
Yeah, I heard that was going to be something. There was going to be. I guess she's a Wonder Woman character. Maxima.
Nubia?
Are you familiar with her?
Yeah, Maxima. Yeah, she's. I don't think she's. I don't think. Yeah, she's. Let me see. Wait. DC Comics. Yeah, Maxima.
The girl that was perceived that they were going to use for Wonder Woman is actually rumored to be playing Maxima, and it's going to be in Man of Tomorrow. Her name is Adria Arjona.
It says Maxima is a character appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics. She's a morally ambiguous queen alien conqueror from the planet Almerac. Known for her obsession with Superman, she views him as the only man worthy to be her mate and king. Despite her beginnings as a despot, she later reformed herself to become a superheroine who has also served as a member of the Justice League.
Yep, that's her. So, counting her, we have Corn Sweat, Nicholas Hoult returning as Lex Luthor, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Lars Endiger as Brainiac, Sarah Sampade as Eve Teschmacher, Skylar Gisson reprising his role as Jimmy Olsen, Adria Arjona as Maxima, as we just spoke of, Millie Alcock as Supergirl, Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, Ida Gathegi reprising his role as Mr. Terrific, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Aaron Pierre from Lanterns as John Stewart, Matthew Lillard has an undisclosed role, Andre Royd has a undisclosed role. The girl, I know I would butcher her name, but she's returning as the engineer. Frank Grillo returning as Rick Flag.
Senior.
Cinco
Yes.
Walls and Mark Kent and Blue Beetle all returning.
Yeah, the girl who's playing Maxima looks like a Hispanic Megan Fox to me.
Yeah, yeah. She the casting is reported by Variety and Deadline that she's supposed to be playing Maxima.
That's good. I'm glad they're mixing it up. I'm glad they're putting in some characters that not a lot of people know. I'm really glad to hear there's a possibility that Zachary Levi's coming back. I think he was great casting. I think he had a great sense of humor. I think his Shazam fits in way better with the corn sweat Superman than he ever would have in Snyder's universe.
Oh yeah. I can a little bit brighter. I'm glad you reminded me of that.
Yeah, I knew I thought you might talk about the thing with Zolo, but when I heard that Zachary Levi too, I was like, man, they were really getting the gang together for this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got a threshold, I'm sure, because I mean, how many people was in the Doomsday movie compared to Superman, Man of Tomorrow? I mean, I just think, not comparing these movies at all, but I just think with Man of Tomorrow, it's like, hey, we can really put some stuff in this movie to open up this world of what DC is doing. So, yeah, man, they're all over this trailer for Doomsday. They got this video with this guy scared in fear, hiding behind a wall, and while the fight's going on in the parking lot. And they said, this is Falcon watching Dr. Doom watch the entire cast of Doomsday. And Falcon's sitting there shaking his head going, he doesn't want to get in the fight. It's pretty hilarious when you look at it. But, yeah.
Am I the only one that thinks that, like, how does Dr. Doom have the juice to take on the God of Thunder and a whole bunch of Avengers? Like, am I the only one that's going, like, one dude, like, wait, how, like, what? Like,
yeah,
huh?
His scale of power. I mean, because from what we've heard from the rumor trailers, you know, you talk about Magneto doing his thing, and I'm assuming they want you to assume that Dr. Doom and Magneto are going to go toe to toe, and like, okay, and you know, does Dr. Doom have Doombots, or does he have Sentinels? What's going on there?
Well, he has to have magic, right? Because in the trailer, they show him stopping Thor's hammer with, like, I understand you can write anything that you want to write, but there has to be a better justification that because we said so. Like,
it is weird. I saw some people getting hype online because, see, I like that they showed, you know, it's all over the place. You don't know how this stuff is going to fall in sequence, but people were saying that little bit of a fight that they showed between Shang-Chi and Gambit, they said that Channing Tatum's Gambit looks so good in being directed, and the CGI that's involved with his power set and that fight, then he looked in the entire Wolverine Deadpool movie.
And all I saw was Duke ready to order lunch.
You got to be open-minded, man. It's going to be...
Dude, like,
as a fanboy...
Dude, it's so much cope. It's so much cope to say Channing Tatum looked great as Gambit, because Channing Tatum doesn't look anything like Gambit. The guy who played Gambit in the movie that everybody hated Gambit in looks more like Gambit than Channing Tatum. The guy who played John Carter looks more like Gambit than the dude that played Gambit. He just happened to be in a terrible movie with a terrible script. It's just, that's fanboy code to say that he looks good as Gambit. He's partially a joke the last time he played Gambit because his mush mouth terrible Cajun.
Well, they making him trying to make him cool. I don't know.
But for someone to, look, if he's the Gambit we're going to get, then we need to just say, okay, he's the Gambit we're going to get. But if anybody with a straight face is saying he looks awesome as Gambit, never crack the spine of a comic book because he doesn't look anything like Gambit. Gambit's drawn with a completely different bone structure than that guy has. I'm just...
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hugh Jackman is taller than Wolverine should be.
Hugh Jackman.
I mean, I just don't
right.
think people care because they're getting.
I mean, Hugh Jackman redefined the expectations for Wolverine. Samuel L. Jackson redefined the expectations for what a good Nick Fury.
I knew you were going to take a shot at him. I knew that was coming. I read your mind that you were going to do that because if our viewer friend and artist colleague with the initials JH could front the money to have the Hoff reprise his role as Nick Fury and he returns in Avengers Doomsday, if it happens, he's going to be the happiest guy in the world.
I'm not sure that he likes. I'm not sure he likes the Hoff as Nick Fury. In fact, like, let's play a little Wizard magazine. Who would you cast as the white Nick Fury?
Well, 30 years ago, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. It was honestly a little bit on my mind. I don't know. You know, if I had to cast him right now, it would probably be John Hamm.
Who is that?
John Hamm, come on, dude. I'll send you a picture. I'll put a picture.
Okay, since we're doing fan casting, we're going to skip a little bit around. What do you think about Keanu Reeves' Gambit?
Keanu would be a good Gambit if he could do the accent. I just don't know that he can. You know, I love Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is always getting his butt kicked for his acting delivery. He's got a, you know, I think he's a good actor. I think he explains emotion well, but he's not a character actor. He's not going to walk into a movie and play somebody you've never seen before. He's not Brad Pitt. I mean, I've seen Brad Pitt in a movie do a full-on Jamaican patois, and it was completely believable. You're like, I can't believe this noise is coming out of a white dude. But you know, Keanu Reeves has got whoa. You know, and I'm not hating on him for that. That's just, but you know, he you see movies like his chick flick movies like A Walk in the Clouds, or his Brat Pack movies like My Own Private Idaho. He's got a full range of emotions in his acting. He's just not going to come on screen and play another character like RDJ did in Tropic Thunder. I just sent you a picture of John Hamm.
John Honey Baked Ham. Let's find out who he is. Never heard of him.
You never, come on, you ain't never seen John Hamm in anything. You're out of your mind, dude.
What was this guy in?
Hang on. Well, one thing he was in, I know you didn't see, he was in Neil Gaiman's, let me see, Baby Driver, Top Gun Maverick, The Town, Tag, Keeping Up with the Joneses, Flash.
He was in there. I saw The Town. Yeah, I remember him. He was in The Town.
He was a voice in Transformers 1. Yeah, I think he could do a good white Nick Fury. I'm sure there's somebody else who could do a good one, but I think he'd be a good choice. You know, just give him some gray sideburns. I'd believe him. If you're out there and you're really attached to white Nick Fury, you should send us your suggestions for casting white Nick Fury.
That ain't gonna get him.
Remember, if you want to contact us, you can reach us by email. secretidentitiesmedia@gmail.com. Contact@secret-identities.com. Or on any of our socials secret_identities_media on Instagram, sec_ident_media on X Twitter, secret_identities_pod on TikTok, or just search Secret Identities on Facebook. You can find links for these in the show notes wherever you found us, on the title card at the end of the show, or just scan the QR code on your screen for our link tree.
Yeah, we'll see that. Yeah, that's decent. Yeah, but all those fan castings and rumored castings of all these people, we might as well break them to light. The rumored casting for the X-Men cast, they had the guy that plays the Star Wars movies as Magneto. What's his name?
Adam Driver. Adam Driver was a whole lot of note. Like I said, I told you so. Mr. Sinister is the current rumor. Also, I told you so. Sydney Sweeney is not playing Emma Frost.
We knew that.
It was on your list, Sally. It was on your list of people that you sent me.
I didn't say that list was true. I just said it was some of the rumors out there.
I know you didn't say they were true, but when I saw that list, I was like, this list is absolute bunk.
Yeah, there's
it
no
just
way.
goes to show you, people talk out of their behinds on this stuff. Like, oh, I heard from a reliable source. Yourself? Like, you haven't heard from nobody, nothing.
Oh, they make that stuff up as they go all day long.
I mean, and you know what? When they start doing the next DC film, everybody's going to say that Sydney Sweeney has been cast as Power Girl because Power Girl got big jugs and Sydney Sweeney's always showing hers off. It's just going to be what fanboys do, is they cannot see behind, they can't see beyond the chest of the woman.
Yeah, that ain't going to fly. What was the other one? The kid from It as Professor X.
Don't believe it for a second. Don't believe it for a second.
No, I do not want to see that. I can't get past his face, dude, with the clown makeup, and then he's bald as Professor X. No, the smile. No, can't see it.
You know who they should have play Gambit?
Who?
I mean, you'll know him from his role as Lois Lane's girlfriend. I can't even say it with a straight face.
James Marster? Oh no.
You know who I think that. You know, if they're going to go with someone that's a celebrity, I think they would go with Timothy Chalamet. I cannot stand the kid, but I think that's who they'd go with.
Who?
Timothy Chalamet, the guy who plays the main character in the Dune movies right now.
The Doom movies.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't watched any of those.
They're actually pretty, like, the first one is a little slow to get started, but they're actually quite good. I was really surprised with it.
They got like a third one coming or something like that.
Yeah, the third one's coming out real soon.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of those.
I think they're doing. I mean, if Sadie Sink is Jean Grey, then Timothy Chalamet's the only decent actor I can think of that's around her age. Otherwise, you're casting a complete nobody.
Yeah, I just don't see them doing that.
What casting? I mean, it's stupid that they don't. You know, they really should. Because, you know, we see how this goes. If you're signing somebody for a 5-picture deal, it's taking you 3 years between each movie. That guy's doing other work. He's going to get really, really expensive really fast.
Yeah, that's true. That would be something.
I guess we have to go with James Marsden as Gambit, though.
No, I don't think so. Other news coming out of Marvel, Beyond the Spider-Verse is rumored to be getting a trailer at Comic-Con as well. The date for Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is the third Spider-Verse movie, is coming out June 18th next year, 2027. So
it don't matter. The tickets for that movie are already sold, man.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that movie sells itself. I mean, you hear me gripe a lot about a lot of movies, and I'll point out some bad stuff about some movies. I don't got nothing to point out about those movies.
Yeah, they're pretty good, pretty fun. Animation's cool.
I
Characters
think the
really
cliffhanger
well.
on the second one was a little too Back to the Future 2 for me, but other than that, it's pretty good. One hell of a cliffhanger on the end of that first.
Yeah. I thought it was really well done. I'm looking forward to the next one because at some point, whether it's not going to be Doomsday, but maybe Secret War, with Peter getting tied up, rumored to be tied up in everything else with this Venom symbiote possibly coming in the direction he's going. It's the perfect time to bring Miles Morales into the live action side of things. Could be quite possibly pretty good the way they do it.
But would you want there to be? Would you want there to be a live action Miles before the animated Miles is done telling his story? I don't think I want it.
No, you're not. I'm saying after.
After I'm completely game for it. As long as you keep Will Smith's kids the hell away from it. No, they're not even allowed in the building when they're casting.
They're not going to be anywhere near these movies. There's a couple kids that are. One kid that's in the running for him, you know him well from Cobra Kai. The kid with the brother that was locked up. Yeah, he's looking to do it.
I like the kid from Stranger Things more. I think he would fit the role better.
I think the look is more towards the kid from Cobra Kai. But the kid that actually voices him is actually interested in playing him live action. So that one is going to be a tough job trying to get pick the right star for that. So any which way they go, I think they're going to do it right, and I think it's going to be awesome when it finally comes to screen. With how that's going to be going on.
Well, do you think Miles should be mixed race when you cast him? You think he should be representative of what the character is?
Yes, definitely, 100%.
That's going to really limit who you have in Hollywood. You're going to really have to do an open casting call of nobodies for that role. Then.
Oh yeah, well, I think they're doing that, and they, not saying that they already got a script. I think they have an idea of what they want to do and where they want to insert him, and it's all about the direction and where they're going to go with it and how they're going to spotlight it. Because like I said, the perfect time for him to show up would be a Secret War, because in June of next year, the Spider-Verse will be done. The animated side will be done. And then in December of next year is when you have Secret War. So I think the build could be quite strong, because you could essentially have him appear at Secret War and then show up, because they're just calling Spider-Man 5 Spider-Man 5. It's already been told that Tom Holland, after this Spider-Man that comes out next week, he's taking a break after that.
They're not calling Spider-Man 5 Spider-Man 5. They might be calling it that right now.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. They are. Yeah, they're calling it Spider-Man 5 right now.
But they're not going to call it that, because movie studios, they started naming movies because they felt that the numbered movies got people that were not familiar with the previous installments to not go to the movies. That's why you don't see numbers on movies anymore.
Yeah. Same reason that Vince McMahon decided to stop numbering the WrestleManias at some point, but now they started again because he's gone. But yeah, he came up with a similar reason.
I just say stop doing them in Roman numerals because they're hard to read.
Well, they stopped. I don't think anybody there on creative could do the Roman. They don't even. That's like them in schools right now. They don't teach cursive anymore. They don't teach Roman numerals.
I was just talking to somebody about it last week. Apparently, private schools are still teaching this stuff. I argue that it's not necessary. You know, it's cool to know stuff, and I think that there's certain college level degrees that might need it. But like, if somebody said, "I'm not going to teach your kid cursive," I wouldn't be like, "You God, man." There's certain people get upset about it because it's what we like. Oh, kids can't sign their signature if you can't. Sure, dude, I don't sign my signature with cursive. Yeah. A signature is however you sign your signature. You could draw a symbol if you wanted to, and that'd be your signature. You could slap something down on the paper.
Like print.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're damn right. Damn right. That's my inspiration. There's actually a way I actually sign my name, so I know I'm the one that signed it. If I've ever actually signed it digitally, I can't tell you on the air, but I'll tell you afterwards. Done.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, but I think they can't fumble this. They got some good entry points on how they could bring in the Miles Morales live action Spider-Man. Man, that movie would look so great. And
I think if you bring in Miles, you leave Holland out. He doesn't need to be a part. We don't need to. You have the same moment like you had in Deadpool, where you think you're looking at Captain America, you're actually looking at the Human Torch. Have Spider-Man show up and he pulls off his mask and it's a black dude. And everyone's like, what the hell? You're not. But then again, how that works is nobody knows who Peter is anymore. They have messed this timeline up so bad.
well, yeah, they don't. Nobody knows who he is right now. But I was watching that, and I know that's feeding into further future episodes. But that I really enjoyed. I watched it again last night. The last Spider-Man movie.
I bought it last month and rewatched it. It is the best Spider-Man thing that's ever been made. I hands down. And it's hard to. That is the reason I was shocked that Jared said he liked Supergirl so much. Because I was like, wait a minute, you like that more than that last Spider-Man movie? That last Spider-Man movie was amazing. And I don't know if it's because it plays on our nostalgia so hard, though. Because, we got nostalgia for 2 movies rolling in that movie. So we're shills. So kids like Jared that have never seen those movies, they might be like, well, who's these other people playing Spider-Man? Like, this isn't making sense. So I really had my doubts, but I think it's a very well done movie. I think if there's anything that the Holland Spider-Man movies have done wrong, is they haven't let Peter be smart. I mean, you gotta figure that Peter's supposed to be a scientist. Peter's supposed to invent his own Webb's fluid. He's supposed to be this really bright kid, but in the MCU, he was recipient of Stark Tech. Even in the last movie, he's still got the Stark Fabricator doing all the work. He's not. The only time in the second one, he's given the Stark AI, Friday, right? He messes that up. So it's like he's been handed all the tech, and he's so dumb he doesn't even know how to manage it. So I would say that, like Batman, these Tom Holland Spider-Man movies do not give him a fair shake at being the Spider-Man character.
Yeah, I don't think he plays Peter Parker as well as. I don't know. I think he's probably the most even out of the people that play Spider-Man. He's the most even. He can play Peter Parker as well as he plays Spider-Man. I think he does that well. I thought Andrew
Garfield,
Andrew Garfield played a great Spider-Man. Under the
I agree
mask.
wholeheartedly.
But
the scene where he's like webbing that criminal that's breaking into the car and cracking jokes at him, hilarious.
Oh yeah,
that's so Spider-Man right there.
He was good.
Don't dress like a car thief.
I thought the look as Peter Parker he was too cool. You had to fight with the chemistry because they were a real life couple too. So
I love Emma Stone. I do not think she is classically attractive though. She's got kind of a something weird going on with her. Like she's making smell something face all the time. I think she's attractive, but I would not say she is classically attractive. So saying she's smoking hot, I don't think there's been a smoking hot Spider-Man girlfriend yet, because Kirsten Dunst was cutish, but she had like the fang thing going on, like she could bite a hole in your skull.
Nah, I thought Emma Stone was casted perfectly in that. I thought she was cute. I thought she delivered really well, all the way to her demise. I think she played it well. The emotionality of those movies I thought were really good. The part that I loved was, and then they took it away, is that the first time I'm ever hearing in any Spider-Man comic book or cartoon or TV show is that they started the mystery with his father and his parents, and I was on the edge of my seat trying to find out what was going on when he was finding those clues. He found that subway terminal, all the ties to Oscorp. I thought that was really well done, and they were unraveling the mystery as the movie went on, and I wanted to find out more about that. I thought that was really well done.
I don't like. I mean, we should probably save some of this discussion since we're going to be doing Spider-Man in a couple of weeks.
We can.
But yeah. I don't like that stuff because that's small worlding. You know, the fact that Peter's parents have been missing his entire comic book lifetime has been so little relevancy to the character. So making it makes him less special as a character. That they looped. I mean, they did some of that in the Garfield universe, right? Where the reason he was susceptible to the spider bite, no one else was, is because there was something different about him because his parents worked for Oscorp. So if you were destined to be, then what difference does it make if you carry with you the responsibility of great power, great responsibility, all that stuff? It's the same kind of compromise of the character that the Kryptonian Matrix in Kal-El makes in Man of Steel. He's not standing on his own as a character anymore. He's this thing that got spawned out into the universe by choices his parents made. And he thought he had autonomy, but he's really just carrying that legacy they put into him. I think it compromises the character in a real way. But we'll talk more about that where it went. But the biggest thing I liked about that last movie is how they incorporated all the confusing stuff about the multiverses, but just the throwbacks to all three of the Spider-Mans being together and having them coexist on the same screen. Some people, a lot of people may not disagree with me, but Disney snuck in their formula that they do with their animated movies that they do. They made you cry, they made you laugh, they made you tear up or whatever, not maybe cry. But that whole scene when he lost Aunt May, whether you believe in it or thought it should have happened or not, it still happened. And they did it. And you felt the loss, and you felt more of the loss when the other two Spider-Man showed up and they talked about their losses, and that's how they bounded to take Peter away from that dark place that he was at. I thought that was really well done. I thought all the innuendo about, them having a Mary Jane and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man saying, "Oh, it's complicated," but let me tell you, it's not the end of the world. You said you don't make time for it. You should make time for it. And Andrew Garfield goes, I stopped pulling my punches. I mean, if you didn't have to worry about Doctor Strange coming back and all the threats from all the villains, you really could have made a movie about them three sitting in the bar sharing Spider-Man stories. You wanted to hear more of that. It was just like, oh man, I wish I could have went out of space. I put some dude in a rhino costume. Exactly.
It's like, what?
In Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man gets his redemption arc when he saves MJ, basically
With the same
replicating the scene
guy.
from exactly. It was like who wrote this? This is genius. Like
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
such a good movie, which is so amazing because everything else Sony does is such trash. Those Spider-Man movies are so good.
Well, that's what. Well, this isn't a stab at you. This isn't a stab at DC. But why the funk couldn't they do that with Supergirl? I know it's two different types of characters, two types of movies, but you're still world building in a Superman world. So why can't Supergirl find her place in Superman's world, and they write a story that's ambiguous with that?
Well, my argument would be to your statement. And I'm not saying it's a valid one, but last time we talked about Supergirl, I mentioned the Bechdel test, and if you made a Supergirl movie that only existed in the context of who Superman is, it would be criticized because she would be a weak female character. So I don't know that your idea is the solution. I do think there's a wide berth between what they came up with and what the best choice would be.
Well, segueing on to that, I agree with you, and I appreciate you saying that. That all the world makes a big difference in wanting to see how she fits into this Man of Tomorrow movie. Because she's not going to be the same Supergirl from this movie. I would think if this is a learning curve for her to help Superman, or if Superman is trying to help her, or I was talking with my younger brother Nick the other day, and he brought up the Michael Turner drawn Supergirl comic from Superman Batman back in 2007, where she was used as Darkseid's pawn or person, and she was being controlled. Only thing saying is instead of using Darkseid, they're using Brainiac. So what if there's something in a situation where Brainiac's take control of Supergirl and puts her against Superman in this movie?
My speculation is going to be that Supergirl is going to be different from she was in her own movie, but she's still not going to see eye to eye with Clark. Clark is not going to approve of her decisions.
Oh yeah.
He's not going to approve of the people she spends her time with. He's not going to approve with the choices that she made, and that's how she's going to stand out. But I think her way into Man of Steel isn't about her brawn. It isn't about her being able to punch with Clark and all that other stuff. It's going to be because Brainiac is Kryptonian technology, and she's the only real Kryptonian in this world. She knows how to read Kryptonian. She knows how to speak Kryptonian. So when it comes to disabling Brainiac, she's going to have a role. And I think it's also not by accident that the Engineer is also going to be back for this. Because I think Engineer is going to be back on the good guy's side, and she's going to have to help take down Brainiac. So I would see Kara and Engineer together being responsible for taking down the Brainiac AI, I guess. While Superman and Lex are busy having to take out whatever physical threat there is, which is probably going to be a whole bunch of Brainiac drones, which is win-win, because then you have a villain that
for Superman to fight. Yeah.
Superman does not have to hold his punches for. Right, exactly. And then maybe we'll get us some more Eddie Gestegi as Mr. Terrific, and good stuff, man. Good stuff. I'm so looking forward to that movie. I am so excited for that movie. They're bound to disappoint me.
I don't know. I think it's going to be on a larger scale. I'm anxious to hear about it and see more about it coming up. Yeah. So, with that being said about the movies that are coming, the Avengers Doomsday trailer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It
Something's coming. Something we may not be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision.
I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one. Everything that they sacrifice will be for nothing if we do not stand together. Put aside your petty squabbles. And presume nothing except this. If you return, you will return as brothers and sisters. Mark my words. We're going to need a miracle.
Hey, pal.
It's not possible.
I've said a lot about Marvel in the last few weeks and how I don't feel like this movie is earned. I don't feel like it's ready. I don't feel like they laid the tracks. I think that the story is slapped together haphazardly over dangling plots. That what I suspect is that they're going to pivot. That the one that is coming in Ant-Man and in the Loki series wasn't actually Kang, it was actually Doom. And the real reason that Doom is a threat is that Doom is going to try to take over the TVA, the Time Variant Authority. So I think that Doom is going to try to take over the central timeline and destroy all other timelines, which is what's going to lead you into the next movie. However, you asked me about this movie. I haven't read a ton of Doctor Doom comic books. I haven't, I read some, not a ton. I think because he never succeeds, he's more I look cool than I am cool. So the idea that everyone in the MCU should be afraid of this guy who hasn't done anything, who has some robots and has some magic power, but the way Thor is talking about him like he's quaking in his boots in that movie, I think it's a long walk. How is a dude in armor scarier than Thanos, or scarier than the Dark Elf threat in Thor 2, which was a terrible movie, but with the technology and the numbers and the intent in that movie, it's way more dangerous. How is it more dangerous than Thor facing down Ragnarok itself with Surtos and all this other stuff. So it's like, it feels hollow. It feels wrong. And then, the big stinger at the end of that trailer is someone taking the hammer from Thor, and it is none other than Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers, who is somehow young Steve Rogers, even though the last time you saw Steve Rogers on the bench at the end of Endgame, he looked like a California raisin. So explain this to me. Explain this to me. Like, this is so backwards. And you can't say, well, Steve came back to the present to help fight them, to help fight Doom, and then he went back with Peggy, and then he got old, and then he came back to give the shield back. Because then, the stakes of this movie are no stakes. So it has to be some alternate Steve Rogers from another timeline. So, and in which case, is that really an earned cool moment? It's just like, so, I kind of feel like everything they do in this movie, I'm going to be like, come on, man. Like, I'll watch it, and I'm sure there's going to be some cool fights, but you know how I feel about superheroes punching each other. Why am I supposed to think it's cool that Shang-Chi's fighting Gambit? Why am I supposed to think that's cool? If you have a common enemy, why do we do this in comics all the time? Why does Marvel do this all the time? Marvel took a perfectly functioning Avengers and came up with a contrived reason why Captain America and Iron Man should punch each other in the face. They fractured their universe. They never completely recovered from it. Now there's a whole new reason for heroes to punch each other in the face again. It's like, why is this happening?
I got a question from the trailer. Why was M'Baku, your boy, shaking hands with the Thing?
I mean, it's better than shaking things with the hand.
It's weird to me because I've seen. I'm assuming that Namor and his tribe and the Wakandians are going to be allies in this battle.
They sure weren't the last time you saw them together, right?
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, well, maybe they want you to believe that. But I'm going to tell you this. My theory for this is that when Steve Rogers walks in and he sticks out his hand and the hammer comes to him, we're getting Captain Hydra.
Well, that was a rumor early on, but would Steve Rogers be worthy to wield the hammer if he was Captain Hydra? I doubt it.
No, somebody broke that down. I'll see if I can send you the post. But somebody had an interesting view on that because they talked about the value. It's only if you think you're
worthy, right? It's only if you think you're worthy, right? Yeah, but that would make sense because Tony would have definitely thought he was worried. And he definitely could not represent.
Unless it's Mystique and not Steve Rogers.
I did. Maybe, but I think people would be really pissed off if you did that. If you did that, people would be really mad. So I think you're going to find this is an alternate universe Steve Rogers, and that really cheapens it. I'm sorry. If it's just a dude wearing his face and you got no relationship there, then that cheapens it. I'm just, there's certain people I'm excited to see. I love Florence Pugh. I think she's great. I think she's a great choice. I think I like Florence Pugh more than I like, what's her name? Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, I think I like Florence Pugh more than Scarlett Johansson.
I thought she did a good job in Thunderbolts and the Black Widow movie. I don't know.
I just kind of feel like Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow was a very let's pretend we're superheroes kind of character. So like that she had a lot of showiness to her, and then in a genius way, her character started picking on her on Scarlet on Black Widow in the Black Widow movie about doing stupid poses, you know. So she's I don't even, what do you call Florence Pugh's character? Like, is she? I don't know. I thought
I had heard White Widow.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But so we'll just say White Widow for the sake of argument here. But just she's a badass, and she doesn't have any time for that stuff. And she wears that in her face in her fight scenes. And,
she does. She pulls it off really well.
Yeah.
Really well. Yeah.
Especially in Oppenheimer.
That was I didn't see that.
I haven't seen it either. I heard she did full frontal in Oppenheimer. She pulled it off really well. No, I think that I think that, so like there's certain aspects about, you know, like that. I love David Harbour as Red Guardian. You know, I think Sebastian Stan is just taking up space in this movie. It's like, what a snore. You know,
one character I don't like that they did, and it was in that movie, and I just don't think he fits. I mean, I understand why they have him in the Marvel universe, but I just think
Sentry.
He
I think it's miscast. I think that they have.
They should have went with the more.
You know who that is?
No.
That's Bill Pullman's son. You know,
I think I did hear that.
Yeah, that's Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman's the kid from the guy from Independence Day. He played the president in Independence Day.
Yeah.
Or he played Lone Star in Spaceballs. There's a lot of sons in the MCU.
He's actually reprising his role in the Spaceballs too. He's playing his father's role in that movie.
No, I think he's playing his father's son, because his father's also in the movie.
I thought he wasn't living anymore.
No, he's alive. Bill Paxton's the one that's dead.
Oh, okay.
Bill Paxton's the guy who, it came over, man, from Aliens.
Yeah, a lot of callbacks on that. I'm excited for the movie to see what's going to go where, what pieces are going to fall, what's going to be left. You know, I'm a villains fan, so I'm trying to find a reason to like Doom. I mean, I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to do a great role, whatever he's cast as, but just seeing it play out and where it's going to go in this introduction to X-Men and see where it's going to go.
All right, here's my thing, though. This is my problem. Do I think that RDJ is going to do a good job? I think so. I cannot say I know so because I have seen Dr. Dolittle. Woof. That movie was terrible, and that was post Iron Man. That was post, you know, all those other movies. So there is a possibility that his performance drops the ball. I doubt it, because this is Tropic Thunder. I'm a dude playing a dude. And this guy's got the chops for me. But even if he pulls it off, even if he nails it in every possible way, Marvel's still just Goyer Doctor Doom. So if you're a Tony Stark fan, putting your face on that villain, if they tie it to Tony in any way, they're tarnishing Tony. We talked about this in other podcasts. But also putting Tony's face on that villain makes him definitely not your Doctor Doom if you're a Doctor Doom fan. So it's obviously a cheap ploy just to get fans back, because there's so much fan goodwill towards RDJ, but it really did compromise this character no matter how successful this character was. And that's a big no for me. We've talked about this episode after episode. We've been doing, this is our 9th episode, and I've said, if you compromise canon, then I'm looking at you with scrutiny. I'm going, why did you do this? Did you do it for a legitimate reason, or you do this because you're trying to sneak extra money out of my pocket that you didn't earn. And this is definitely the answer with this movie. It doesn't matter how good RDJ did. They either threw away a great character to get more money out of your pocket, or they threw everything of substance about a character away that had not been introduced just to get money out of your pocket. There is no logical reason to have RDJ play that role other than exploiting fan goodwill. You know, and the Doom character is going to suffer for it. So if you're a Doom fan, you might enjoy this movie, but like, that's not really Doom. Just like I can watch every Batman movie made by Christopher Nolan and go, that's not really Batman. So I don't know. It seems like the whole. So back to the trailer. The whole trailer is a lot of bluster to prop up this notion of Doom being so formidable that he's a problem for every Avenger all at once. And there's nothing to demonstrate that in the trailer. There's nothing even said that would imply it. So how can a room full of the most powerful beings on the planet, all teamed up together, see a dude with a metal mask and a green cloak and go, oh, this guy's scary? It just doesn't, show me more. Make me understand. Make me believe. We've had a teaser. This is our first full trailer. Show me more than, remember that guy This is him. Show me more than that.
I don't think they're going to show that. They're not going to show you their full hand. When you walked in, when the Russo brothers did Winter Soldier, you didn't know where they were going with that.
Well, you knew if you read the comic books, but when you walked into Infinity War,
they didn't follow that in the Infinity War. They went off on their own, and they used different elements.
But you still had Squidward and Proxima Midnight and those other characters in the trailer. So you had some stuff. You see that big guy that was fighting with Tony Stark in the city? Like, what is that about? What is that Squidward guy about?
You didn't know who they were, and that's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to tell you what all these characters are going to be doing.
All you saw Dr. Doom do was stand there and go boop to the hammer. That's all you saw. So, you're holding back. You must be holding everything back. And he's got a lot of Doom bots, so did Ultron. Ultron had a whole lot of robots, just like Dr. Doom is going to have. So why is this more scary? If it's Sentinels, they're just Doom bots that are bigger. What is so scary about this character? Make me understand it. So if I'm watching this trailer and I'm going, they're doing a whole lot of expedition dumping. They're doing a whole lot of saying and not doing, and that is a cardinal sin in writing. You show why somebody's scary. You don't tell why somebody's scary. So I can't watch this trailer and not go, I'm gonna see it, Telly. I'm gonna go see it, but it troubles me that they're not putting more in there, because I wonder if they do have more. Or are they going to spend the whole movie going, oh yeah, this guy's really bad, he's really scary, and then set me up to see another movie?
I mean, I'm sure they got some story elements of where they want to go and how they get everybody involved. They're pulling everything from everywhere. It's got to make sense.
They obviously do not have the story elements, because they're shoving some back in at the last minute in that re-release of the last movie, like we discussed. Yeah. So, I mean, he should have. I mean, for Thor to be afraid, for all of the other Avengers to have to take it seriously, you got to think of all the other Avengers movies we've had up till now. You've had the first Avengers. You had an whole army of aliens pouring out of the sky. The second Avengers, you had Ultron and all the Ultron bots. Then you had Civil War, which was basically an Avengers movie, and that was with all of the Avengers against all of the Avengers. And then you had the Infinity Saga, which was a whole lot of aliens and superpowered aliens, and then Thanos on top of that. And then you had bad versions of good characters. They're all fighting those too. All they're showing me is a guy in a green cloak and saying, "Oh yeah, this guy's bad news." And all of that other stuff was in all those other trailers. This trailer isn't saying anything about the movie. They're saying, "Oh, you have to see this. This is super scary." Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. That's all we can do is.
If they pull a rabbit out of a hat, I will. I'll be like, okay, cool. If unless the fact that the heroes are fighting each other is what we're supposed to take away from it, and Doom is actually pitting these people against each other to determine whose timeline survives because he's taking over the TVA. That's the only thing that makes sense. But I gotta tell you, that's not gonna please me either, because you know how I feel about heroes punching each other in the face. We're supposed to be the good guys. It's not supposed to be that easy to exploit you to punch each other in the face, right? So, you know, you're supposed to reason before you punch each other in the face, but that's not what we do in the Marvel Universe. We punch and then we ask.
That's later.
So,
several movies later. I don't. There's so many characters and so many different points of view as to how this is going to.
And
How it's going to make sense.
if Secret Wars is really supposed to be about War World, about Doom winning in Doomsday and setting up War World, then why is it interesting to have the heroes punch each other in the face in Doomsday if they're going to be punching each other in the face in War World? And if that leak is true, I'm not even going to repeat the leak for the sake of people that haven't heard it. But if the leak is true and the structure between Doomsday and Secret Wars is as similar as the structure between the last two-part movie the Avengers gave you, then that's really messed up. That's really bad writing. If it's just like basically a do-over of the same plot. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do. Yes, it's definitely a hard sell. I want to see the Spider-Man movie coming up and see where we go with that, because from what they've said, there's a reason why he's not in this next movie or in the Avengers Doomsday movie. So,
well, the easy reason is nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Because of what happened in the last Spider-Man movie, no one on the Avengers knows who he is. Nobody's going to call him. He's not a card-carrying Avenger. He's not an Avenger in reserve anymore. So nothing of note has to happen in the next Spider-Man movie for him to not be on that list.
Well, that's true.
Now, I've heard rumors about that too, but I think they're just as reliable as Sydney Sweeney and Adam Driver being cast as X-Men. So I think we'll see. I think, again, I said my piece on the Spider-Man movie too. I think there's just too much going on in it, and I will be surprised if they can pull it off. The only thing that gives me hope that they might is how well they managed all of the plot elements of the last movie. But I kind of feel like they're Schumachering the Spider-Man movies, because I feel like every time you come out with a new Spider-Man movie, there has to be more in it than the last one. And so Batman and Robin and Batgirl, and every time we had a movie, we had a villain. So you had Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze and Bane and all this. Just an excuse to have extra characters. Skinny Bane.
Sure. That. And then I'm still thinking in my back of my mind which may not show up and actually be a plot line. So.
Well, I don't really feel like there's going to be a whole lot of plot here. I feel like it's going to be a thinly veiled excuse Oh, you mean for Spider-Man? You mean for Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I don't understand where Hulk fits into everything. Honestly, I think the Hulk is the one where I'm like, I understand why Banner is involved. I do not understand why Hulk is involved. And that trouble. You figure if you got the Head, you got Punisher, you got Tombstone, you got Scorpion, and a couple other villains have been named but not shown. If all of those things are true, you don't need to be messing with Hulk.
No.
You know, and it ain't gonna be a team up. You ain't gonna see Hulk and Spider-Man defeat the bad guy together. It's just not gonna happen. It's just too much raw power there, and no Spider-Man villain could handle that kind of juice. So, like, why bring in the Hand if you're not gonna have Daredevil? It just doesn't make any sense.
I've heard rumors of Daredevil, but I've also heard rumors of Kingpin as well. But
I've heard Kingpin it cannot be in the movie because apparently there's some kind of contracting issue where Kingpin cannot appear in the films. He can appear on the shows, but there's some kind of contracting with the character. He can't be in the movies. So I don't know if you can see Kingpin. You can maybe allude to him, but my understanding is you cannot have him in the movies, and that's out of D'Onofrio's mouth himself. So he could have been lying, but I don't think he would have lied. And then Charlie Cox said outright he was not in one of these movies. I think he said he wasn't in the Avengers movie though.
Yeah, but he may have Andrew Garfield us too, because Andrew Garfield said he wasn't in the last Spider-Man on live TV. So
did he really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I wasn't paying any attention back then.
Yeah, he said he wasn't in it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this boils out, and I'm sure there are going to be some after credit scenes that set up other things and where that's going. I don't know. I think the Spider-Man movie is going to turn out better than what we think.
Like I said, I'm hopeful, and I don't know if they have the same writing team. I don't know if they have the same director. They pulled off that last one so well. The only thing that makes me kind of doubt it is that there's a lot of nostalgia packed in that old movie that might have made it a better experience than I remember. You know, so even watching it a second time, I love the beats of that movie, but are they charming me by including stuff that I've been watching for 30 years, or do they really have that good a movie? And I think it's B. I mean, it's still the Nolan Spider-Man. It's still not Peter, like as we discussed. It's not smart Peter that does his own inventions and invents his own web shooters and things like that. It's the connection to Tony Stark and the MCU has kind of compromised that at every turn.
Yeah.
And I mean, last trailer I saw, it shows the Stark fabricator fabricating Peter Parker's new cloth suit. Right?
Yeah.
So even his cloth suit he didn't make his own. It's still a Stark thing. So it's like, man, could you take anything else away from this character? Like
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. Did he make the web shooters?
I think he did. Yes, or at least it's strongly. I don't think they show you him making the web shooters. I think they show you him loading the web shooters, and I think they show you. And he says that they have to make their own web fluid in that one you watched just recently. And in No Way Home, they're like when they were having the conversation about like you have internal webs or organic webs.
So how does that work? That stuff comes out of you?
Does it come out anywhere else? Like
that was like what? Yeah. That was a little strange, a little Doctor Strange. He's like,
I think that was hilarious. I think that's just so funny with those guys.
But that's how it should be with those movies.
Yeah, I think that that's honestly something these movies need more of. They need more humor, except when we've got grumpy face Stark Doom and super screwed Thor. Remember, Thor has been the comedy in most of the last Avengers movies. You know, calling Rocket Raccoon Rabbit and all that stuff. So where's your fun going to come from in these movies? You know, you mentioned Matthew Lillard in the Superman movie earlier, and I was thinking he would be a great like Plastic Man or Elongated Man. So I wonder if that's who he'd play.
Yeah,
he's kind of got that very flexible kind of Jim Carrey quality to him. I can see him as a Ralph Dibny.
Yeah, I can see that too. That could be something. Yep.
Yeah, so I am cautiously optimistic for Spider-Man. I am less optimistic for the Avengers movie. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of a movie. I just do not feel like I don't feel like they've got the building blocks laid for what makes that movie important yet, and I think that's why the movie's going to be so damn long, because they're going to have to spend a lot of the movie exposition dumping just to set up a situation that makes Doom formidable and connects plots that are already in the MCU. And it's probably, I mean, it's obviously going to have to do with the TVA, because Loki's hidden in the poster. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, it's going to be weird with that. How they're going to have to explain that as well. I'm trying to think where I heard.
You might be odd man out because you haven't watched the Loki series.
I saw some of it.
But
I heard the music.
The end of the second season. The end of the second season is the part that is really the only thing that really matters. They kill the guy who's been keeping all the branching timelines. It's been out for over 2 years. It's not a spoiler. You people hush.
Yeah.
I was going to stop myself. I was like, wait a minute. Should I keep going? And Loki has to sit down, and to keep the whole universe from unraveling, Loki had to sit down and literally hold all of the branching timelines together as the central point of the multiverse. So he's kind of taken his place as this like benevolent fulcrum of all the timelines in the multiverse. The world didn't. So, which is another weird one, because this movie happens between the last time you saw him and his death in the first Infinity War movie. Mm-hmm. He gets pulled out of time, and everything that happens in the Loki series up until him becoming the good guy time god thing happens in the run-up to his death when Thanos actually kills him. Mm. But there's also some missing time for Loki, because, and I'm sure this is going to come up too, because when they were trying to get the Tesseract from the first Avengers movie, they caused Stark to have a heart attack. Loki grabs the Tesseract, blinks, and then comes back. When he blinks, he's going outside of time again. So we don't know what he does in that time frame either. We don't know whether that's good Loki or bad Loki. We don't know what's happening to that scene right there. So
oh wow.
So there's still a lot of, they started messing with time and they made it complicated. But yeah, so there's Loki has to be somewhere. He has to come back after this movie is over and commit to his own death. Or whatever shenanigans he pulls when he has the cosmic cube, he fakes his own death, he comes back healthy. He's probably going to actually die, because what's the point in him not dying if if they're just going to reset the universe. There's no stakes, so they just kill him and be like, oh yeah, member berries.
Yeah, there's a rumored leak of Deadpool consoling Thor, so that could be something to do with that. Who knows?
I hope Ryan Reynolds is not in this movie. If I never saw the man make another paycheck for the rest of his life, I'd be happy. I got bad Ryan Reynolds energy.
Well, it's already.
I heard he had nothing to do with the movie, so I wonder if he's the one starting the rumor, which is something he's prone to do. By the way, it's part of the reason I don't like him. He's always getting high on his own supply, always putting his name in a place that don't belong because he wants the press, he wants to be involved in everything. I saw something about Deadpool 4 today.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where that's going, but nope. Wonder what Wolverine's going to have to do in this trailer.
Is Hugh Jackman coming back?
Dude, they said he's not joking when he said that he's going to be playing Wolverine till he's 70 or 80.
I hadn't heard he was on the cast list.
He's not. They're not. You're not supposed to. They're not going to tell you he is. He's there. He's going to be in it. If he's not in Doomsday, he's definitely going to be in Secret War. The rumors I heard.
But we know Famke Janssen's not in it. We've seen James Marsden. We know Patrick Stewart. We know what the hell's his name? I can't remember his name. Then Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen.
Yeah, he's in it.
I mean, I'm sure he'd love to keep playing Wolverine, but I don't think he's gonna be in it.
If he's not in Doomsday, he's definitely in Secret War. But I heard he's in the opening scene of Doomsday with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, from what I hear.
I mean, that doesn't mean he can't be CG'd in. They could reuse some footage and do some multiverse nonsense and then just have that be over with. It doesn't necessarily mean he has a significant role in the movie. So, again, it's another situation where Disney's going to do what they're going to do to cultivate fan goodwill for the movie. But if it's robots, if they're just fighting Doom robots in this movie, then Wolverine will be there. He'll be slashing the hell out of them. But if it's fighting, but if it's or Sentinels, but if it's fighting other heroes, he's not going to be there because there's nothing for him to do with them big old claws except make a whole bloody mess of other heroes, and they're not going to let him do that. So
I mean, I think he one of his dreams was the reason why he came back is because he said that he was going to have the opportunity to act with these other actors that have played in the MCU.
But I mean, but all that is contingent on a Hugh Jackman paycheck at this point. Is he going to be willing to give up?
They already addressed that. They say when they signed him for Deadpool, they addressed that. That's
a different they though. That they was Fox, not Disney. Remember, those two things are two different things. No, it's Fox.
They were.
It's Fox. I understand it's been bought, but there's still separate contracts. There's not. It's still different. They intentionally kept those things separate. They intentionally kept those things separate on purpose, probably for a tax haven for something like that. But they did not just collapse all the studios and take all the IP. So
I think I think his deal is with Disney to be in these Marvel movies. It ain't got nothing to do with Fox no more. But
I don't know how that makes sense. How does that make sense to bring back a character that's been Wolverine since the mid-90s when you're about to flush the toilet on the whole universe. When Sadie Sink is now officially your MCU Jean Grey, she's like a 16, 17-year-old girl, although that tracks for Wolverine if you read the comics. Wolverine had a weird amount of time spent with little children. Just saying. He was always hanging out with Kitty Pryde when Kitty Pryde was a kid. He was always hanging out with Jubilee when Jubilee was a kid. He's running around in the movie with X-23 when she was a kid. Even that other bad Wolverine was hanging out with LZD. What was it?
X-23 is his daughter.
X-23 is a clone of him, mate. But hey, just,
I don't know. I think they do themselves a disservice not to have Hugh Jackman apart, even if it is his swan song as Wolverine because of his age, which still really couldn't be affected.
I don't think it has anything to do with the age. I think it has to do with how much Hugh Jackman costs. Every time you bring in Hugh Jackman, you're paying Hugh Jackman money. You're paying it in a movie that it's got an ensemble cast. It already costs you a lot of money. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to give him to do? What do you do with a guy that's got knives for hands? You know, it's
the same thing they've always been doing. He's the focal point of the X-Men. He's a big part of this battle. They're including the X-Men and trying to bring something out to usher into,
But if the plot of Doomsday is Doom pitting Wolverine against other heroes, is Wolverine going to be slashing the F out of heroes in this movie? I don't think so.
I mean,
so you have to declaw Wolverine. Now maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe this will be Bone Claw Wolverine. They'll take away his claws. So get his claws broken off. Maybe that's what they'll do. But you cannot have a dude with knives for hands fighting other heroes and actually not pulling his punches. This is not going to happen. Because I mean, we talked about this literally last week. How shocked we were when Wolverine plunged those claws in the chest of some dude in a dark, grainy X-Mansion shot in what is that, X2?
Yeah.
We were shocked. We were like, what the heck? But so you're not going to see him do that to Captain America. You're not going to see him do that to anybody else. So what's the point in having him around if you can't use him the way he needs to be used? Do we go out of our way to write him in so he can't be used to do the one thing he's good at doing?
I mean, I can see him doing it for, the whole thing is fan service. It's what they want. He's the most popular character in the universe. You put him in the Marvel movies and associate him with the X-Men if it's in a mentor role or whatever. I don't think Professor X is going to survive this. So, he's your next eldest.
I don't think the X-Men timeline is going to survive this. I think if the whole plot of this thing is supposed to be Doom pitting them against each other to see whose timeline, I think that the whole X-Men timeline is going to lose, and that's why you're going to get the reset button after Secret Wars. That's probably why you see in the early shots Cyclops going full Nova with his eye blast, because he's probably cradling dead Professor Xavier, not dead Jean Grey. He's why he's seeing his mentor dead on the ground. So
yeah, I can see that. And the stuff from I don't know. I had a thought that maybe the stuff that Logan saw and talked about in Logan could come true with him seeing all the X-Men die. He could very well see that in this movie. So
that would be a bold move to bring in. See, that would have to be a different Wolverine. So that would have to be a different Wolverine than Professor Xavier and Cyclops, though. because Professor Xavier is very much a part of that movie, and you see him die of essentially dementia. So again, all this multiverse stuff drives me crazy, man. Because you can tell 100 different stories, but you also make every one of them not really matter when you do it. I kind of feel like the Spider-Man movie did it right. When No Way Home did it, they gave all those characters honor. They gave all, even the villains. So much love was paid to those characters, even the villains. But the more I look at what's about to happen with this Avengers movie, I just kind of feel like they're going to make choices cheapening this whole thing. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really am, but they're not showing me anything to change my mind. So maybe trailer 2 or trailer 3, I'll go, oh, I changed my mind completely. But
I don't think you're going to see that. I don't think you're going to see that.
Well, if I'm not going to see it at all, that means it's not in the movie. Because those things I'm talking about are in the trailers for those other movies. I mean,
but
Ultron bots were one of the focal points of the Avengers Age of Ultron. You remember they did the Pinocchio thing. You got the no strings on me. They
filmed the whole scene in that was in the Endgame trailer that wasn't even in the movie.
I get it. They do that all the time. Yeah. They do that all the time. Sure, but your movie should have actually substance in the trailer, or they're expecting people to show up just because. And again, I don't appreciate that. If they think, oh, you're going to give me your money just because this is an Avengers movie, because we don't have to do a good job. We're just going to just come on. I just kind of think the whole sentiment about this changing a movie that you already made to make this new movie work, telling you absolutely nothing about this new movie, and just saying, oh, well, you're going to show up because. You're going to show up because we said so. Because we brought back your actor that you like. Is dismissive, is disrespectful. It means they did a crap job writing this movie. Oh, well, loophole this, loophole that. It's just like just like in the last Avengers movie, all the talk about, oh, that's not how time travel works. That paradox stuff doesn't really work. And then they have like 2 or 3 paradoxes in the same movie. How does Thanos die? Yet young Thanos comes and then dies in that movie. Yet that does not undo the causal loop of what caused him to be a problem when he was older in the first place. Older Thanos is the one that killed everybody. Younger Thanos showed up in the next movie, you killed him. It should have undid the Thanos from the previous movie. Gamora, past Gamora, comes to the present. She disappears. If past Gamora is in the present and never gets returned to the present, returned to the past, then how does the other Gamora die? So you throw all those rules out the window, yet in the same movie, oh, it's really important, Steve, that you take all of the Infinity Stones back and put them exactly where they came from, or undo all our hard work. None of it makes sense. They don't play by the rules in their own movie. They just make them up as they go along. They ignore them as they want. So if the Infinity Stones had to go back to where they came from in order for everything to work properly, then how come Thanos didn't have to go back? He got to die. That doesn't make sense. How come Gamora didn't have to go back? That doesn't make sense. So just the whole premise of the movie's got Swiss cheese holes in it because they didn't bother playing by their own rules. But they preached
I'm very
at the beginning.
interested to see what they put at the beginning of this Endgame re-release and the stuff that they put in the middle and the end.
Yeah, I'm still at odds because I know I have to see it to understand. I kind of feel like I'm obligated to see it because I need to know it for this. But at the same time, I really don't want to give money to take a second bite of the apple.
It's going to get leaked, so you ain't even got to worry about that.
I know it's eventually going to get leaked, but I also know that they're real bastards about that stuff. They're you know, somebody leaks their trailer filmed through Vaseline and gauze. They're tearing down Twitter accounts. So, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I am not going to walk out of whatever they do to the in-game encore movie going, yup, now it makes sense. I'm going to be walking out. I'm probably going to be spoiled mad and be like, this is some BS, Sally. This is some BS. In my opinion, you don't get to go back and change movies to pave the road for your next movie. If you go back and you take a plot point from that movie that was dropped and you make something of it, that's genius to me. I'm like, wow, what a smart writer to explain why there's the yellow impurity is in the Green Lantern ring. It's actually an alien trapped in there, and that's what took over Hal and Emerald Twilight. You know, that's genius to me. But to go back and say, remember that comic book you read? We added a couple extra pages. You should go buy it again. Now you'll understand what's going on. That's BS. So I'm not going to be terribly pleased with whatever I find out. But
good. Yep. Yeah. Well, something to look forward to. I think some more of the leaks and the news will come out of Comic-Con starting tomorrow night, so we will keep you posted in the upcoming episode on what we heard from the show and what's ahead for the looking forward to the Spider-Man episode next week. Going a little bit further on the movies, the first 3 Tobey Maguire movies, the 2 Andrew Garfields, and the 4 Tom Holland movies. So and also some drops in the Spider-Man 94, which is a great animated series. What ideas did they not bring to the silver screen yet that could have been used as storylines that people would like to see? My biggest thing is we've gotten hints of it, but not a conclusive, clear out Sinister Six movie. Could that work? Would it work? I think it would be fun.
I think
to
No
see.
Way Home is as close as you're going to get to that. I think No Way Home's pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think we need it. I really don't. If you have a Sinister Six movie, I feel like you need to get the other Spider-Man back in. So I think it has to be a Spider-Verse thing. Like, it's great when it's on the comic, but you need just six villains is just way too much for one Spider-Man. I understand he's strong enough to do it, but I just don't. How do you make that work on the screen? How do you have that fight? So I don't know. Sinister Six is what? Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Sandman, Vulture. All right. Well, we've been at this a little while, and I think that we have done enough. I guess that's enough negativity for me for 1 week. I was thinking about it today. Man. Right now I'm just such a sourpuss with this stuff, man, and I want to do better. I'm just so nervous. I guess I wasn't negative about Supergirl, right? I was a little positive about it, even though it was a pretty negative experience for most people. But you need
some evidence that good movies can still be made in this genre.
I want to feel like I'm in good hands, and they're not telling me that. And in fact, between the stuff that Feige has said recently that I feel like was kind of dismissive, and the do-over on Endgame is frustrating to me. So it's got me in a real sore place. I am, like I said, I'm very optimistic for Spider-Man. What I'm worried about is the Schumacher syndrome, where they're trying to fit too much in. They mastered a lot in the last one, so I do have hope that they can get it right. I hope they're not going to keep checking up their habit like it's like this is cocaine in the 80s. because they don't need to keep adding. They just need to tell good stories. You don't have to have more stuff in every movie, you know. But our discussion has been, if we can find the time to do it, we are going to do an extra episode of convention discussion where we're going to share news from San Diego Comic-Con, and we're going to share some anecdotes and funny stories of our own experiences at conventions, funny people we met, funny things that we said to people that we met, and look for that in your feed probably before the next episode drops, because our next episode is going to be our Spider-Man talk on the road to Brand New Day, Spider-Man Brand New Day, where we're going to, as Telly mentioned before, we're going to discuss the past Spider-Man movies, maybe some greatest hits of some of the animated stuff.
Yeah, looking forward to that. You guys, please leave comments on our discussion today, what you like, what you agree with, what you didn't agree with. What did you think about the Avengers Doomsday trailer? What do you think's going to happen? What are some of the ideas that you have that may happen in the upcoming movie and the Spider-Man movie as well?
Who you'd cast for the White Nick Fury?
Yeah, interested to hear from that. That definitely. Well, who would you cast for any of the upcoming roles that haven't been casted, that are supposed to be revealed at San Diego Comic-Con starting tomorrow night? Let us know what some of your all-time favorite castings were of movies that have already come out. So
you think all that's going to get revealed? I don't think all that's getting revealed. I don't think all that's getting revealed.
Yeah, it's
they've announced it's going to be revealed. I call BS. They're not revealing that.
No, they announced that it's going to be revealed because they're not going to give you any more for Doomsday that people are still clamoring about. They want the hype is real, dude. They don't want it spoiled. Whatever they're doing, they're confusing you. They are trying to mislead you on purpose because they want total shock and craziness when that movie comes out on December 18th. Or
I think I'm already seeing the craziness. The craziness is me believing that Doom is formidable enough to give a room full of Avengers pause. That's the craziness. I'm seeing it already.
They can't do it with Kang. Kang is gone like Tang.
But Kang had a whole. But Kang had a whole bunch of other Kangs. You had Kangs from all the timelines. That made sense. There's a whole army of Kangs. There ain't an army of dudes.
Kang. No one cares about Kang and his thing because he ain't Kang.
I don't care about Kang either, but at least even the Kang I didn't care from had a whole lot of dudes that I didn't care about. This one is one dude. No army, no nothing, you know. And Doom is a little tech and a little bit of magic, and I just let's see. I mean, show me, don't tell me, and they ain't showing me or telling me. So
they ain't gonna show you. That's the new way. They're not gonna show you. James Gunn ain't gonna come out with a 65-minute trailer that tells you what everything's gonna happen in Man of Tomorrow.
James Gunn has already showed me in set leaks more than they showed me in the trailer of this movie, Telly. I've already seen more I'm interested in about James Gunn next Superman movie in set leaks than I have heard anything about this next movie that I care about. Come on, man. Come on. You have to realize they announced that RDJ was Dr. Doom 2 years ago at Comic-Con. Like 2 years ago. This wasn't last year. It was like 2 years ago.
It's a big movie.
On.
It's a big movie. The wait is long. They weren't going to put this movie out the following day.
The point is that you don't know anything about this movie other than RDJ is Doom, and that was you learned that 2 years ago.
Take my money. You're just holding it right now on a savings account. Marvel Disney has my ticket. Waiting to go see it.
I'm not a shill like that, man. I'm not a shill like that. I have to be critical of their movies.
I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to be spoiled. I want to see what they're bringing for me.
I don't want it to be spoiled either. It's the writers that are spoiling it. Spoiling a movie isn't telling me what's going to happen. Spoiling a movie is not doing a good job of making things happen, in my opinion.
We don't know that yet. Infinity War was great. Captain America
Infinity
was great.
Infinity War. I don't agree. I think Captain America: Winter Soldier had some fun stuff in it. But I think I have huge problems with Winter Soldier. I have huge problems with Winter Soldier because you made Captain America cynical in that movie, and that's not Captain America. You made him like every other hero.
Yeah, I disagree. I just think that it was a different way to tell a story that was leading into the storylines that they had going with the movies that surrounded it and that were going to feed off of it. And they did what they did. It made sense for that time. I think looking at the big picture with these new 2 movies, we have no, even with Doomsday, if they gave us the whole plot of what was going to happen from beginning to end, we still don't know. We don't have a clue what they're going to do in Secret War. And maybe they don't either this early on. Because certain things got to work. They can still change Secret War.
Oh, man, see, now you're touching on a whole new problem that I have with Marvel, Telly. You're touching on a whole new problem. Because you're advertising movies and you don't know what's going to be in them. That's the problem. That's why you end up with these plot holes. That's why you have a universe that went astray. Because they kept making movies and changing them on the fly, dropping plot threads. And everybody's like, what the hell? They're trying to make movies for your girlfriend and for your mom, not for you. Because, like you said, your money's already in a savings account. This is the reason why their movies have gone astray. So, it's a hot button for me, man. We don't need to keep beating a dead horse, but this is exactly the kind of stuff that it irritates me. Because they go to production for a movie and they're changing the end of the movie while they're making the movie. Like what? Like what? Because they know that everybody's just going to keep handing over their money and they don't have to make a clear, concise, well-written movie that doesn't have huge-ass plot holes in it. Huge-ass plot holes in these movies if you put them to scrutiny. You can drive a truck through them, but they say, oh, well, you quit being a fanboy pointing out this stuff. Oh, you're that comic book guy. Or that's not the way time travel works. Even though, as I already demonstrated, they broke the rules of time travel that didn't work the way they said it worked, and then they made it work that way in the same movie. So, and then they backhand you and say you're stupid for wanting what you want when they make the She-Hulk show. Like,
yeah, never was a fan of that, but you know.
So
you got to make it.
I want to see me some Chris Evans Captain America too. I want to see RDJ do a good job. They're tap dancing a very thin line, and they're going, it's the multiverse, like that's nothing for me. That means nothing for me. Weird things happen in the multiverse. This is Victor Von Doom from the other side of the planet. For some reason, he looks like Tony Stark. If he's not Tony Stark, why'd you bring him back? Other than you just want my money because I've got nostalgia for a great job Tony Stark did on a complete character and story. So, all right, beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back and listening to us complain again. Or me complain and him be positive. That's our role. I'm going to put Jody the complainer down here. I'm savage for a reason. That's the savage part.
But as the Avengers say, you or Optimus Prime says, you must be stopped no matter the cost. So, Marvel, take my money, entertain me. That's all I'm saying. Please entertain me.
I say, Marvel, do better. Do better. Yeah. I will praise you when you do better.
That's it. On that note, you guys enjoy. We'll be bringing you the news from San Diego Comic-Con. talking about some Spider-Man Brand New Day coming up next weekend. So look out for that. And thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Tell your best friends about us. Tell your moms about us. Tell your pops about us. Tell your girlfriends and your ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends. We appreciate you.
If you want to help us keep the hate train going, check us out on Patreon.
You can always check us out on Patreon, where we post each episode and updates so you always know what is going on with the show. If you like the show and you want to help us keep the lights on while you are there, you can become patron. For as low as $2 a month, you can become a league member, and that will give you access to exclusive pre-show and post-show content each week, as well as the retro movie reviews. Or for just a little bit more, at $5 a month, you can become a Power League member, getting pre-show, post-show, retro reviews, a discount code for our merch store, and a producer credit in each and every episode. That's patreon.com/secret identities. Put it in your search bar, look for it in the show notes, or find it with the rest of our links with our Linktree QR code.
We have we have a very special patron, our Power League member, Hazy Eyed Girl. I think we're officially in our second month with her as a patron. This is third month of her. Episode 9. She started with episode 2, so third month with her as a patron. So thank you very much, Hazy Eyed Girl. Your criticism means a lot to us. It's the fuel that keeps my hate going. And Telly's so done with me. He's like, man, this guy's so negative.
She'll have to turn out what I think about our criticism. She'll have to look at the special edition. So you'll see it there. I'll leave some comments. I appreciate the comment and the compliments.
I'm going to go back in a couple of months, and I'm going to put positive stuff in this episode.
Oh, and no extra charge? Yeah, I see where you get that. Until you beat the 2 hours and 46-minute runtime of Avengers Doomsday, then we'll talk.
We beat that on our He-Man episode.
Oh, guess what? He-Man was announced. Masters of the Universe will be available on Prime Video next week for streaming already. And guess who's getting the Blu-ray? This guy right here. I will have the power. Anxious to see the deleted scenes and all the commentary from that great movie that didn't bring a character back to be another character on your side.
In a couple months, be sure to come check out Secret Identities Episode 9 Encore, where I add in new footage to make our next episodes make sense.
There ain't enough episodes to make him make sense. Ridiculous.
All right. Thank you for everything, guys. It's been real and it's been fun. And we will see you for maybe a special episode about San Diego Comic-Con and some of our con survival stories. And after the next week, we've got a Spider-Man retrospective, probably a little news, and some more discussion about the upcoming movie. Thank you, and see you next week. Bye.
Thanks again for joining us. If you like what you saw, give us a like. If you didn't, let us know how we can do better. If you know someone else who might like us, please share. Help us boost the signal. For audio only, they can find us on Spotify by searching for Secret Identities Podcast. Or for full video, tell them they can find us on YouTube at Secret Identities-Pod. And of course, every episode is free to listen on Patreon at www.patreon.com/secretidentities We also share clips of the show occasionally on Instagram at secret_identities_media or on TikTok at secret_identities_pod. Be sure to check out those socials. Drop us a like, give us a follow, turn on notifications. That way you will always be updated so you never miss an episode. You can look out for our streaming schedule or just see some of the news and funnies that we share throughout the week. And don't forget to please follow us or subscribe wherever you are listening from.